If you want to show your customers different fields based on their choices, you can do so with conditional logic. Conditionally revealing fields make sure that your customers see what's only relevant to them, therefore making a more personalized checkout experience. In today's video, I'm going to show you how you can combine custom fields with conditional logic to create a more personalized checkout experience for your customers. This is a checkout page that I've already created for a music camp. I've added many fields to this page that ask questions to those registering for this music camp. As you can see, we'll have to scroll down on this page to answer all the questions in these custom fields. And some of these custom fields may not be relevant to some of our customers. And this is what the page looks like when I've added conditional logic to some of the fields. As you can see, the page is a lot shorter and only has 4 custom fields. The other custom fields will be revealed based on the customer's choices. I first added a checkbox field that asks customers if they are under the age of 18, and if they are and select this checkbox, 4 more fields will appear that ask for their guardian's consent and their contact information. And then I've included a multiple choice field that asks the customers if they have a dietary restriction, and if they select that they do have a dietary restriction, 2 more fields will appear that ask the customers to tell us more about their dietary restriction. As you can see compared to the last page, this page is a lot shorter and easier for the customers to navigate when considering attending this music camp. In this video, I'll show you how you can create these conditional fields. Firstly, I'll show you a page for a music camp that I've already created with custom fields that ask customers a number of questions. Next, we'll add conditional logic to some of these fields to make sure that only relevant fields are shown to the right customers. And lastly, I'll show you what it looks like when customers select their answers on the fields. Let's dive in. This is a page that I've already created where I've included many custom fields to gather information from our attendees so that I can tailor their experience at this music camp. To learn how to add custom fields to your page, please see our other YouTube video on custom fields. As you can see in our page preview, the custom fields that I've added to this page makes the page very long and we'll have to scroll to make our selections. Now let's take a look at how we can add conditional logic to some of these fields so that only the relevant questions are shown to the right customers. Now that we've set our custom fields on our page, let's take a look at how we can reveal some of the fields with conditional logic. Please note that while conditional logic can be applied to any fields, conditions can only be met on drop-down, multi-select, and checkbox type fields. First, select Checkout from the top menu, and then select Checkout Fields from the left side menu. And here you will see all the custom fields that you've added to your page. Firstly, there are 4 custom fields that ask for the customer's guardian's consent and contact information. These 4 fields should only be revealed if the customer selects the checkbox that confirms that they are under the age of 18. So let's apply conditional logic to these 4 fields. Let's click the Guardian Consent checkbox field to open it up, and then click Additional Settings, and then click to enable conditional logic. The field that we'd like to set our condition on is the I am under 18 checkbox field. And then clicking here will show our possible conditions. Let's choose is, and then the value of our I am under 18 checkbox should be checked. We've now set the conditional logic for the Guardian Consent checkbox to only appear if the I am under 18 checkbox is checked. Now let's click Save. And we can now see in the preview that the Guardian Consent checkbox is grayed out and will only appear when customers select that they are under the age of 18. Please note that hidden custom fields will be grayed out on the page preview, but won't be shown on the live pages until the conditions are met. Now I'm going to quickly apply the same conditional logic to the Guardian's emergency contact detail fields. And we can now see in the page preview that all the fields for the Guardian's consent and emergency contact details are grayed out, unless the customer selects that they are under the age of 18. Now let's add conditional logic to the fields that ask for our customers to tell us more about their dietary restriction. Let's take a look at this drop-down field, select your dietary restriction. We'll want this field to appear on the page for our customer so that they can select from this drop-down list after they've selected that they do have a dietary restriction. Let's open up our drop-down field, select your dietary restriction, open up our additional settings, enable the conditional logic. We'll want to set the condition on the field that asks our customers if they do have a dietary restriction. And if we click here, we'll see a list of the possible conditions. Let's choose is, and let's set the value to yes. We've now set the conditional logic for the drop-down field to appear. if customers have already selected that they do have a dietary restriction, and click Save. And we can now see in our preview that the drop-down field Select Your Dietary Restriction will not appear on the page unless the customer selects that they do have a dietary restriction. Now let's set conditional logic on this field that asks for our customers to specify more about a particular dietary restriction. We'll want this field to appear if customers previously select on the drop-down menu fish, nuts, or wheat, but not the choice of other. Let's open up our field, tell us more about this dietary restriction, open up our additional settings, and enable the conditional logic. We'll want to set our condition on the drop-down field Select Your Dietary Restriction. And since we want this field to appear if customers select any choice except for the choice of other, we'll select the condition is not. And the value is other. We've now set the conditional logic for customers to tell us more about a particular dietary restriction if they choose any selection from the drop-down field that is not other. And click Save. And we can see in the preview that the field to tell us more about this dietary restriction only appears if customers first select that they do have a dietary restriction, and will remain on the page if the customers select that their dietary restriction is fish, nuts, or wheat, but it will be hidden again if customers select that their dietary restriction is other. And lastly, we'll want this field that asks our customers what are their dietary restrictions to only appear if the customer selects the choice of other. Let's open up our field, What are your dietary restrictions? Open up the additional settings. Enable the conditional logic. Select the condition to be placed on the drop-down field, Select Your Dietary Restriction. Select the condition is, and the value is other. We have now placed conditional logic on the field that asks our customers to tell us what their dietary restrictions are if they select other from the drop-down list. And click Save. And we can now see in the preview that the field that asks our customers to tell us what their dietary restrictions are will only appear if they first select that they do have a dietary restriction, and if they select their dietary restriction to be other. Now let's take a look at how the conditional fields will only appear when customers make certain selections on previous fields by opening up the live hosted page. After our customers make their room selection, and check this checkbox if they are under the age of 18, 4 more fields will appear that ask for the customer's guardian's consent for them to attend this music camp, and then for the guardian to input their emergency contact details. Next, the customers are asked if they have a dietary restriction, and if they select that they do not have one, they can move on to checkout. But if they select that they do have a dietary restriction, 2 more fields will appear, where they're asked to select their dietary restriction from this drop-down list, and if they select either of fish, nuts, or wheat, they're asked to tell us more about the specific dietary restriction. But if they instead choose other, they are instead asked to tell us what their dietary restrictions are. And that's how you can use custom fields and conditional logic together to keep your page well organized and only reveal relevant fields to the right customers based on their selection on the previous fields. Thanks for watching, and feel free to reach out if you have any questions.